Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today, we're going to call her Mayor Lori Cockrell. She's going to be the mayor in just a few days, and we have a new council member, Josh Ingram. So, congratulations, I say, or condolences, one or the other. Just
I've heard that a couple times.
Maybe at the end of your 2 years, you'll see how it goes. But I think there's good vibes in the community. I think of your election, and I know you had a really stiff competition.
Yes. It was a tough one. I'm glad I could pull it out. So
yeah.
Not being sarcastic at all. I heard several people say to me that I could look at it a couple of different ways. I could look at it as I was the only one running because nobody thought they could beat me, or that I was the only one running because they thought that I could do a good job. And so I said, I'm
the
taking
only one that stepped forward and said, "There's no way I want to do it."
Yeah. So I'm going to take that as a positive.
I
think
it is a positive.
Yeah.
I think people look at it and say, "No, I think a good person's on there. I think it'd be good." I think I hear good things about it, and I like the makeup of the new council. I think we're going to see good things. I think it's a cooperative council, just from the people that I know that are on it. You have a good mixture, and I think that's good.
I agree. I've actually talked to everybody on council in the last 24, 48 hours,
right.
And I was like, it was just, it felt really good. I'm like, I just called them on the phone. We were talking about things, because we're going to have to hit the ground running.
I was going to say.
In January, and January 9th.
Right.
And as I was talking, I was like, "Oh, this feels really good." So
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, Josh is just coming off the Planning Commission, which you just had a lot of stuff on there with
absolutely, yeah,
several projects, and it's now coming to council on it. So
yeah.
At least you got somebody who has a little inside information on the kind of the backgrounds of stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
But it's good. We're seeing things happening, and I think that's what people look for. We drag these things out, a lot of these projects, and of course they do take time, but I think we see some good things, and our events have been really good. We've done the Festival of Leaves. That was
that was
fantastic.
Huge.
Reba's working with the Warren Heritage Society there, and it's kind of pulled that off, and that was well attended. It was. Then our Christmas parade, let's go back one more, the downtown Halloween. That was jammed. Of course, we did the zombie walk with it, and I'm waiting. Mark and I are down there filming. Say we're going to just come down Main Street with it. We lost all the zombies because there were so many people downtown.
It was.
We just had their little lanyard on. I said, "Oh, there's one." But normally you have a swarm coming down, but they just kind of blended in with the crowd. It was so busy. Then the Festival of Leaves was crowded, and then the Christmas thing was jammed.
I watched your video. You had quite a challenge trying to
I couldn't keep
video.
The kids off the,
Yes.
But just so many people downtown, and that just shows you. I think our community comes together, and it's just a great.
And don't forget the 4th of July. I was going to say, if you back it up, the 4th of July this year, the town, they had sponsors and the fireworks, and people were just,
well, I think the coming
positive.
one's even going to be bigger and better.
Right. I think that. So Lizzie Lewis was, she was hired to be our special events coordinator for. I know that's not the right talent.
She's the director of fun. That's her new title.
Yes,
Director of fun.
But she's really doing a great job. That was something when a few years ago that council's goal was to see we wanted more things going on in the town and giving people an opportunity to come out and enjoy the town, and she was hired, and I think she's doing a great job.
Good job.
And I agree with you. I think anytime something goes well, when I talk to her, she's like, "And stay tuned."
She's got a lot of stuff there in her bag of tricks. But I think, and as you well know, the council has put out the message that we just want more of these kind of events, not less. And that's part of, we throw this word out there, small town charm, but that's part of it.
Yes.
When you feel like you're a part of your community and you know people and you're out and about, people feel a sense of ownership when they participate in these things, and I think that's what we've got with a lot of these events that are coming up. I think that's what we want. Now we can just get people to come to council meetings and watch it on. But they do, and you can see the old, the handful of people that show up, and sometimes it's jammed, sometimes it's just a few, but, I think it's important. That's why we report on it, and till the town came up and put their camera system in, we were the only source. We
Yes, you were.
videotaped all those things for years,
And I think a lot of people, I know what you're saying, there may not be a huge crowd sitting in
People
the
watch those
seats.
things.
They watch. I mean, I myself, the plan, I have it in my head. Planning commission's Wednesday night. I
Right.
might be washing the dishes, but I'm watching it live.
Right.
And same thing with the bar meeting recently.
Right.
I'm I really do think that even though you might not see people there, people are
Sure.
following it, watching yours, watching what.
Right. We've been doing this, staying on top of the school board, and truthfully, that second Wednesday work session that doesn't get recorded, of course, Mark or I show up there and we videotape that, and sometimes those goes on for hours, right, Mark? Yeah, hours. But you know what? We get hundreds of views of that work session for the school. People are interested in what's going on in our schools. It's a really hot, even if they're not there, sometimes, they have a pretty good crowd, but they watch those videos and read those stories of the schools really draw.
I've actually come to once because they didn't do the work session.
Right.
I came one night because I was I wanted to know I didn't want to have to wait, and so it's good that you guys are there videoing that. People want to be. They want to be involved.
Yeah.
They want to watch. They want to
Inquiring
know.
minds want to know, right?
Yes, which is good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Having the public
So what do you
involved.
think, Josh? I mean, you're entering.
Well-
This is something you've like me. We've tried this campaign several times, but you went in and got the planning commission, got your feet wet, got people to know you. Now you're on council.
Well, I think that a lot of what Lori was saying, especially in the past year, we've seen a sense of more engagement, and a lot of what we've seen, the public has seen. That's some of the easier stuff, like the events and whatnot. That's more noticeable. But there's also been some things that have taken place, that are not, so well noticed, that I've got to see as part of the planning commission.
Sure.
And it's been great to see that the council that's there now. I think they've set the stage. They had the foresight enough to try to set the stage for us to come in, and carry the torch along. 'Cause I think that in this year in particular, we've seen some things put in motion that that we've been trying to do for the past few years. So I think that I look forward, with my experiences on the planning commission, to keep things in motion that are
Keep it moving, right? Yeah.
Correct, that are set in place, and it does help. Like I said, I think knowing the ordinances and seeing what's going to be coming in front of the council beforehand, it helps out tremendously. And Lori's right. There has been even amongst ourselves, there's been active engagement. With what we're keeping an eye on what we're doing. We've been collaborating, so that's a big help as well.
Right.
And again, there's this sense of wanting the public's involvement. That's everybody on the council now, including the new elected council, is that's a big emphasis. We want the public to. We want this community to be enjoyed. I mean, we all live here. This is our home.
Sure.
That's
One thing coming up is that comprehensive plan.
Yes,
Kind of got
it
kicked
is.
down the can there because of weather and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's something that we just got to get the community, the county and the town working together on these plans. When people say, "Well, nothing happens," well, that's your future, your vision, and all we got to do make sure we can keep council and the board of supervisors focused on that same joint venture. And I think it's pretty joint right now.
Yeah.
It is,
And-
yeah. The county planning commission and the town planning commission, just fairly recently, we got together just to make sure our comp plan. They're still
Yeah,
working on theirs,
Right. But I think
still-
it's going to come together.
Right, and
Yes,
that we had
yes.
it was a very, very productive meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Right.
were glad that we had it, and both sides agreed. Like, look, maybe we should do this more often. So there's talk
Yes.
about maybe getting together, on a somewhat of a regular, or more scheduled basis, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
And and again, that's one of the things that that are just kind of not seen to the public so
Sure,
much, but
sure.
it is one of those things that's been
Yeah.
set in motion. So.
So as far as the comp plan goes, and this is more for the public, so you're supposed to have a comp plan and it be reviewed every 5 years.
Every 5 years.
And the town of Front Royal has not had a comp plan. The last right of that was in 1998.
I know, when I was on
And
the planning commission.
Yes. So, and that's, it had like an 18-month life
Sure.
to get this. And February was supposed to be, January, February was supposed to be the finish line. So I will tell you that is definitely a goal of mine, is to get this comp plan over the finish line. I know it is Josh's as well. And that was something that the public did get.
Right, they had a lot of
lots
input.
Because I attended several of even the freezing cold one in November down at the pavilion. People could come in and look, and there were maps laid out. People put sticky notes. The public, we really did, and there was a survey with over, I'm going to say the wrong amount, but there was, quite a few people that filled out the survey online to give us input. So you're exactly right. This is their community, our community. And as far as the town and county, you mentioning that, and I think those working together and collaborating is improving by the day.
Right.
And it's exciting to hear that they're working together, because people forget the town, every town citizen is also a county citizen.
Right.
So, us working together, it's a community, it's, so I think it's good if we're all working together. And
Yeah, probably about 10 years ago, I did a campaign. I took it upon myself. We did a, I Love Front Royal campaign. I made a bunch of signs. You still see some of them in windows downtown. But, one of my slogans was, Front Royal, the heart and soul of Warren County. And it really is. It is the center. And people think of Front Royal County as one, but we're really not. But we need to be blended together. And it's so important. And we've had this animosity for many years, on and off for many years. And I think that's where I feel confident this new council can get back into working together. You don't want to be walked over, but at the same time, if you work together, there's a synergy working together that you can gain more than you could separately.
Yep.
And I think that's something that I think we need to realize, that case, that there is that synergy that we can have, and we can do so much more if we work together and on the same vision. And hopefully, I think the people that I know that are on the council now, I think have that focus.
I do too. I think it's
So
going to be a good thing.
We're going to say they do, and then we're going to embarrass them if they don't. Right?
Oh no, you won't have to. I think you're right. I think there's I think there's a lot, and some of us even have relationships with people on the board of supervisors. So I think it'll be. I think we. There for a while, the liaison meetings were kind of on hold. To be honest with you, the last couple of years, we've had some challenges with the pandemic.
One or two things, all of a sudden, we get off topic, and next thing you know, we're over here in the weeds.
Right, but the last few have been very productive, and I look for that. We all, or at least the last 3 or 4, I've walked out of there and you just felt good. Like, everybody felt good about.
You could tell that.
Yes, you could. You could feel the energy in the room.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, we got to, and of course, next year, the Board of Supervisors is going to be changing 50%. There's election next year for them. So hopefully, if we can get that working, and new candidates coming on board, we'll look and see, kind of like what was happening with the council. We literally have 90% new council. I mean, Amber is your old council member, and she's only been on there 2 years. So something
not
like
2
that.
years.
1 year.
It was like I think it was November made a year, because she was elected during the special election. So it's about 13 months.
She's the incumbent.
She's the veteran right now.
So there's going to be challenges with that. But there's enough legacy. I think that we got, and it's good to see Joe Walsh back in town manager. That was a good choice that you guys made, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Joe wants to be the manager. I think
he does.
He loves this town. I mean, he did step aside and moved on, in his career, but I think he's seen the handwriting on the wall. We're going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But I like Joe. I do too. He can get along with people, and he doesn't berate them, or he likes, he treats people the way he likes to be treated. And I think he does a good job. And he'll listen.
Yes.
He's got a good set of ears. I think he said 2 ears and 1 mouth. That's Joe. I want to listen twice as much as I talk.
Yeah. Tuesday, there was a department head meeting. And of course, I'm off of school this week, so it
Sure.
gave me the opportunity. So
Yeah.
I went to the department head meeting, and then Joe and I met afterwards, just talk about, coming up and things like that. And I enjoyed it. He's a man of few words. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But like you said, when he says something, he's given it lots of thought. So
You notice he always carries that journal with him, and when you're talking to him, and when he was a manager before, I've seen him taking these notes.
yes,
And then,
yeah,
so
he
he
was
had-
doing that.
He was
doing that on
That's
Tuesday.
good.
Yeah.
So, in the town hall, in our meeting room there, we have this wall of all the mayors in our history.
Yes.
And I didn't see any women in there.
Yes, that is accurate. So, and I feel like I'm a broken record when I keep saying this to people, but I am the first female mayor for the town of Front Royal, and I don't take that lightly. I think that's it's such an honor, and so I'm going to tell a really quick story. Lots of people
You think
have heard
you
me
can do
say this.
that?
It's going to be quick, I promise. There's a. It's actually my cousin's wife. Her mother lives in town, and she's 103. And she took her for early voting, and then she reached out to me. This was during the election time, and she said, "My mom was so excited today because she told me when I was born, women couldn't vote." And she said, "Not only did I get to vote today, I got to vote for a woman." And I got to tell you, that was like
Sure.
that stuck with me. For and it still does. Obviously, I'm still
Sure.
telling the story, but just to think about how much things have changed in the last 103 years.
Right.
So yes, I am the first female mayor, and I hope this inspires
We're gonna be
young
keeping an
women.
eye on you,
I
right?
know. I hope this inspires young girls and women, because women are. We actually on the town council. We had. Half of the town council
Sure,
were
women,
female,
yeah.
so and the board of supervisors is
Yeah.
actually
They've
the
got some
majority.
strong women on that
yes,
board of supervisors.
Yes.
They don't get pushed around, let me tell you.
No, so
Well, but it goes to show you can grow up in this country, and you can be pretty soon. It'll probably have a female president. I mean, it would not surprise me in the next couple terms.
I told my great niece that. I said, "You could be the
President
next
Lori."
president." Yeah. I don't think it's going to be President Lori, but maybe there will be
One of your
somebody.
grandchildren.
Yeah.
But it's true.
Don't rush that.
Oh, yeah, don't rush that. But it's true that you can set your mind on something. You never thought, go back 10 years. You never thought you'd even be in politics, more or less.
No, I did not.
Being a mayor, and of course now your brother's been the mayor and the delegate,
Yes,
and now a judge and stuff. So
Yeah, we actually, that is one thing that
you were the
we
only one that
noticed.
didn't become a lawyer. Right?
Yeah, that's it. No, I actually have another brother that's not a lawyer. But we are actually the only two siblings that will ever be mayor, in the history. So,
Sure.
Yeah, I'll get my picture up there, but I still think about all the pictures up there, but the one that the gentleman that's got the cigarette, I'm like, but
that was the day. That shows what the culture was at the time.
Yes.
I just don't want to see you have Tina Tolliver give you one of those glamour shots.
Yeah,
We
no.
don't want that. We don't want that.
That's not me, but anyway.
It'll be great.
Yes,
It'll
yes.
be great. Now, you just got to be careful. Just some of the personal advice now, when people in leadership, on that very first meeting that you're in charge, and you got to really come down. Don't let people walk over you. But you set this like teaching a class, and you're a teacher, and that first day of school
Absolutely.
sets the tone for the whole year.
Absolutely.
And so you're experienced at that.
Yes.
Already how to lay the law down.
Yeah,
so.
I've had the opportunity over the last couple of years to lead some
Sure,
meetings.
yeah.
So, and I would agree. I would say that I've learned from
Be
those
surprised.
as well. I've learned.
You watch all these meetings. It's not as easy as you think it is, and especially if you have some obnoxious council members that just want it their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
I think
hard.
we're good. We're
I
good
think
with that.
that's why I say I think it'll be great. Get out that Robert Rules of Order and figure out.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Is sometimes are we allowed to do it this way? You have to ask. But yes. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
looking
you do.
forward
It's
to
cool.
it.
And remember, they're just observations. You can do it, and you just treat people how you want to be treated, and most things go right along pretty well. And if you set that tone, hopefully we're going to have these councilmen watch this, so let them know that she is going to be tough on you the first day. So,
well, I do think that to be efficient, you have to stay on task.
you do. You got to be organized, and that's all about making these meetings. Because you've been in these school meetings where they go on for hours and hours and hours, and nothing gets accomplished. When you walk away, you got to have another meeting to discuss the meeting you were just in. And I've been in a lot of groups, and I said, I call down to these big school, the ASCD, you know who they are.
Yes.
They're one of my clients, and I said, why don't you guys just have one day where there's no meetings? Can't you no meeting Wednesdays? Because they had a meeting, 4 meetings a day, all day long, 7 days a week. I said, you need one day where you get some work done down here.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
It's so crazy, but anyway, I'm just so glad that we're going to seeing you in the future. We're twisting Lori's arm. We want her to come in every month. She's saying every other month, but we're going to try to. But I think we're going to have so much stuff going on. You're going to want to tell us about it, just to come in, kind of, stay out of the politics of it, but the community things. What's going on?
Absolutely.
What do we got looking forward to? What part do you need to come and talk about and show up to a meeting? But next week we're going to be talking about something that's going to be affecting you, and you need to know. And sometimes people don't see that. So
since you gave me a great lead in here, I do want to say this. So as of January 1st, there is going to be a seat open on council, my seat.
right,
Also, Josh is coming off the Planning Commission, and so there's going to be a seat there. And then we also still have 3 openings on the LBBCA, which is the local Board of Building Code Appeals.
right.
And so just a little sales pitch. If any of that sounds interesting to
Sure.
you, we're currently accepting applications, resumes. There was talk that the applications for my seat would be going till January 18th, but we're actually going to cut it off on the 13th so that we can interview. And, there's all these rules about how many days.
That's right.
And
right.
so to be able to...
45 days, you got to meet that deadline.
Exactly. So
Or your brother will be appointing somebody.
So it would be the 13th for my seat.
Right.
But if anybody in the public's interested, you can send your resume, email application to Miss Presley, tpresley@frontroyalva.com.
Right.
But anyway, Josh and I would both say you've served on Planning Commission, I've served on council. It's it's a great opportunity to help your community.
I mean, we've had several people that have been appointed. You have Skip that just got appointed,
Absolutely.
and you had several other people previous that have served 6 months or a year
Right.
for these appointments.
I actually started as an appointment.
Yes, that's right.
I was
That's
going
right.
to say, I actually
that
started.
kind of gets your feet wet, and you don't feel like that 4-year obligation, because that's what it is for council, 2 years
Yes.
for mayor. So your return was to be for how long? When's your term up?
As mayor?
No.
Oh,
when
as
the seat
council.
was-
Actually, December 31st of 2024. So
it's only
whoever.
2 years, yeah.
Well, actually, the way it works is they would be appointed, and then there would
the
be a special election
come
in November.
So you only have
Yeah.
to serve.
Yeah.
That way, if it gives you a few months to decide whether you
Yeah.
really want to do this for 4
Yes.
years. That's right.
But I will say that every council member that I've ever talked to, people I served with before that were appointees first and then ran, they felt like they had spent so much time learning it
Right.
that they wanted to to spend more time, not just
Yeah.
spend 6 months. So hopefully people will feel that way.
And you want a broad section of the community.
Yes.
You don't have to be a lawyer to be on council or a school teacher or
Yes.
anything, or an engineer. I mean, you can.
Yes.
If you have. If you've got a lot of common, it's about common sense.
Right,
Yes.
but it's
And
also like you said, with varied backgrounds. And
It is. That's what you want.
We have varied backgrounds. We have a common goal, of course, but
Sure.
we all have our full-time jobs and
Sure.
different occupations and whatnot. So it's important to have that, because each one of us, we all have our individual
Bring a
thoughts.
different,
Yes,
bring
yes.
a different
So-
thing to the.
And what Josh said about that, I've had multiple people ask me, "Are you retiring? Are you retiring?" And actually, even some people have said, "Oh, I thought you had to be retired to do this." And I said, "Well, I want you to think about that. Think about government. If everybody that represented you were retired, would that really be your peer?
Sure.
And so Josh is exactly right. We do have some people on the council that are retired. We have people that are working full time,
Yeah.
and a variety of jobs. You know,
variety of-
mine's definitely different than
variety
everybody
of
else's.
ages.
Yes,
I
and a
mean-
variety of ages. So
Yeah.
I think that's actually gonna be to our advantage.
Right, I think so. Well, it sounds like good things happening on the council this year. We were going to have you back in a while, soon, after you have a couple meetings, after she gets a couple meetings under your belt, and we'll see. We won't have you back too soon, but we don't want to scare you
Well, I was
off.
thinking February because once we get the new council member appointed, council's going to be doing a retreat, probably early February. That's
Right.
our goal, you know, barring no snow and stuff like that. And at that retreat, that council would what are our goals? What do we want to accomplish?
Sure, we can talk about that.
Right. And so that might be a good time for me to come back and share with
That'd be
you
great.
what we come up with.
And I want you
and
to bring another new council person with you as
I
well.
can do that.
So every month,
pressure.
every month you can bring somebody new that
Sure.
we can share to the community and give
Absolutely.
them an opportunity to
Yep.
stick their foot in their mouth. And Josh, you
Yes.
did great. I mean,
Yes, Josh.
He's a veteran. He's done this.
Yes.
He knows I won't pick on him too bad. So
Well, I'm excited to work with Josh. Josh and I met each other during the campaign when I was running, and at the end of that, when there was a planning commission opening, we encouraged Josh, and I knew there were great things about him, and I
Sure.
was like, so I'm really glad that he got on planning commission and then ran again, and so I'm excited to work with him. He's a sensical guy, doesn't get himself worked up.
yeah, I don't say he hasn't got too emotional.
No, yeah.
I think, but he's driven. I know because he's got. I
Absolutely.
remember working in previous campaigns with him, and he's focused. He knows what he wants to
Absolutely.
do. So
That's what and he's not hot headed, and he's
No,
just going to
no.
be
He's
level
got,
headed
and
guy.
he's got a little more hair than I do, although it's short. So we always find something good. See,
Yeah,
there's
that's
always
it.
something good to talk about. But Mayor Cockrell, I appreciate you coming in. Councilman Ingram, I get used to these titles
I
now
know.
because it's going to be strange. And but we want to get together, and anything that's great going on, good in our community, we want you to come in and share that with us, with our viewers. And
Thank you for the opportunity
it's
to
great.
get the word out because people do pay attention to social media, and Royal Examiner's
Of
always
course,
on
yeah.
social media, and they can stay more engaged when
Well, I'll
we're
give
helping.
you a plug. Last month, in the last 30 days, we've had 335,000 page views.
Oh my gosh!
Can you imagine that? And we just focus on Warren County. So people are
And
reading
there's
the
only
Royal
40.
Examiner.
I was just saying, there's only 40,000 citizens
That includes dogs.
in Warren County, so that's amazing.
Yeah. So
That's
we get
great.
a lot of viewers and a lot of watchers and readers and subscribe now while it's still free. So you can do that. You'll get a daily email summary and
Yes,
every
you do.
day.
I do. I get it every morning.
Yeah, first
I check it first thing in the morning, make sure.
Comes
Let's
in at
see.
5 a.m., right? So I want
Yes,
to make sure.
it does.
But we do a lot of things on there that people don't realize. And obituaries, for instance.
Yes.
It's surprising how many positive comments we get about how well we treat the obituary. I mean, it's something that, we don't charge for it. It's free. Arthur Maddox and we've had a little meeting, and he's sharing those things. And I try to keep it local, and I search other things for people that are in our community and put that on there. And
And
give people-
free
Free.
is
yeah.
so. I just want to say that is such a blessing
Yeah.
because having just lost somebody in the last couple of years, that can be a very expensive part
Right.
of you're remembering them. So thank you for doing
Yeah, so
that.
and people like that. We have these town talks. People, believe it or not, people actually watch these things. We've just reached 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is
I don't think I knew about that.
I've
Did
not
you?
pushed
I
that.
wasn't aware of that
So
so much
now
either, no.
we reached that goal, and we get about 12,000 views a month on YouTube. Watch our videos and things on that. So that's pretty good. I mean, 1,000 people want. I tell you, I'll go ahead and give a plug. What we're doing. We have that little bell down in the corner of your browser, right? When you click on that, you get what's called instant notification. Every time we post something, you get an instant notification of it. There's nearly 5,000 people get those every day.
Wow.
So when I'm posting sometimes 20 things a day, ding, 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 I'm burning up your browser. So,
So is the YouTube, just to clarify?
That's where all these videos are hosted.
Okay, because sometimes I get on the Facebook and I go to Royal Examiner, I have to scroll through to find a video. So you're
Right.
saying if I go to YouTube,
just go- well,
those
if you
are
go-
just there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good to
and
know.
you're in HD, so you can. I watch them on my big television, and it's great and nice, high quality. It's not like watching them off your phone.
Yeah.
But
I'll
so
have
it's
to
a lot of
remember that.
things you can do, and there's probably 900 videos on that channel so far that we've done. So all those things that we've caught you at the meetings in years past, we've got them. They stay up there, and so you can go back and review them. But there's a lot of things going on in our community that most people don't really know about. Like we got all the Christmas parades. You can watch those things.
Yeah.
Mark and I go down there and work, and the firemen's parades, and
Yes.
it's amazing. I tell people, I was just looking the other day, we still get views on the 2017 firemen's parade. We've got over 20,000 views of the 2017.
What was in that parade?
I don't know why that one, but it's somehow got in virtual world and gets shared. So
I did watch the Christmas parade because we were in it on the trolley.
Did you like the picture I put you and Joe in?
Yes.
Yes.
I watched it because we were at the front of it, and then the trolley took us back to the Public Works.
Right.
And there we were in our car, and I thought, well, I'll just drive back downtown and watch the rest
Good
of
luck.
it. You couldn't find a parking space, so I was really disappointed. I was so glad the parade was there because
Yeah.
I have a lot of students that were in the parade, and they
sure.
were like, "Did you see me?" And I was like, "Thank goodness that you put the." I was like, "Yes, I did. I did see you." So I was glad.
We
I
get a lot of comments.
Yes.
But those are kind of things that we want to bring in, and towns doing these events. And so we just want to get people involved in our community other than, driving to the city to work and come home
Yes.
and go out in dark, come back in dark and don't do anything. So a lot of stuff going on. And I think
Yes.
we got more stuff happening and more projects, as you know, in the Planning Commission. So we'll see a lot of, I think we'll see some growth and they're talking this recession, but I told people we don't participate.
Let's pretend like it doesn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
right.
that's
Move
it.
on
Yes.
to it. Again, thanks a lot, Mayor and
Thank
Councilman.
you.
I appreciate all this. We'll cut this off because people are
Thank
watching
you.
this and they say, what are they talking about?
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank
Thanks
you.
for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Okay, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you.